we have a lot of nicknames to give you as a superstar, and you came with the name Ustaz Dunia, which, by the way, Ustaz Dunia means the world's teacher in English. And a lot of fans are curious to know about this. Why?
God has created every human with something unique about them, something that they are the only ones who can do it. Nobody else can do what I do, and I cannot even do what you can do. Everyone has a different gift, so that represents, the uniqueness in every soul. That's why you have like Silver S. And when it comes to Ustaz Dunia is the name I was given, by a very old woman. Sometimes back in Magui, I was doing this. I was doing like a show, and we're like on the road drive. That time for the show was a huge song. It was still like a low fresh and some stuff like that. And, so the woman already had been listening to my songs. In those days, I did a lot of educative songs. In my first album around 2007. So when she got a chance to meet me, I was in the car with the road drive, and then when she looked at me, she came, and then we stopped. She greeted me, and then was like, "Olaita was Ustaz Dunia." And from that moment, so like the MC who was doing the road drive,
she's impressed.
Yeah, she was impressed, and
exactly.
She said, that. And then she gave me that name, and I think it was worth it. Literally, like, we do music to educate, inform, and entertain the people.
Thank you so much for telling me the background of what the name is, how it came to be, and I'm sure a lot of fans are going to get excited about this when they know the background of what the name was.
Sure.
Recently, you got a chance to visit South Sudan Parliament for the first time.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, gave us hope as a youth to represent most of the issues that we face in the community to the eye of the leaders. What was the purpose of your visit, and what was that important in the meeting, visiting the Parliament for the first time?
The purpose for my visit to the Parliament, I've been here, I lived in this country, raised up, built up all this, but then I've never been there. I always pass around. But this time around, I just thought like I have to go and see my Parliament. I want to see how it looks like. As we grow, sometimes we gain the courage to reach certain places. In those early age, like we told, maybe like it was very hard because there are a lot of soldiers, what. So at some point back, it was looking scary. But this time I was like, no, let me just pass around and visit, our Parliament. Like other countries, to go to the Parliament and check around is not, it's not prohibited. And even here, it wasn't difficult. I just had to step in. But first things first, there is a parliamentary kind of football competition that is coming. That's going to happen here in South Sudan. Like all the members of Parliament from all the East African countries, all the 6 East African countries, are going to be here in Juba, and they're going to participate like in a football tournament for about 3 weeks. So South Sudan is the one hosting this time. I think sometimes back to other countries are hosting.
Wow.
So like the person in charge called me, and it was like they wanted me. The Parliament wants me to be among the few artists like who are going to be performing for that occasion, like during the opening that will happen, I think, in Freedom Hall. And then the occasion will go for about 3 weeks. So I had gone to discuss that particular business and on whether to perform or not to perform on that day, and also like to understand what happens in the Parliament, how does it look like, understand. And so it was just like simple that.
Great. Most of your music actually talks about the issues that are happening in the country.
Sure.
They talk about social stuff, political stuff, and economic stuff. For example, as a superstar in music, sometimes you warn the markets about the instability of prices and everything that goes on in the market. You also advise the youth to be whatever they could be in this art life struggle. What are most of the things that you always constantly communicate to youth who lose hope when issues like this come, rise all the time, every moment?
One thing is like you've already said, I do music like that things that are happening around, but my focus normally is the youth, because we are the most affected. Understand? You go to school, finish, come back, no job, you do papers, you stay home, nobody up there who can push you up. A lot of us go through a lot of frustration.
Yeah, come tomorrow.
It happens, that kind of situation. But then, we communicate to the youth we inspire a lot of youth, you understand, because they look at the life. First of all, you have to live a life which is very truthful, a life which is very honest, understand. So they get to see and be like, if he can be like that, then I also can be like that. So we don't encourage doing bad things, because we are very influential. So we encourage the youth normally, like, to be positive. In life there are always the negatives, the positives, but it depends on your choices. Every man or every youth must always be responsible for the consequences of their actions, you understand? So don't come and blame, oh, so did this and that, oh, so push me on that one. So literally we always make sure we encourage the youth, to be hardworking. Like in English, it's like hustle, you understand? Hustle doesn't mean you can steal, or you can kill, or you can rob, no. It just means like you have to do it, like, go do something. It could be making chapas, could be borders, could be anything that can earn your living as you wait for that job that you're hoping, that's your dream job, understand? Yeah, exactly. So don't get yourself into alcohol, into drugs because of frustrations. We all go through the same situation, but then we just, we humble ourselves and we keep hustling on a clean way. So we encourage the youth to always be positive, and always put in the backs of the minds that whatever they do today, tomorrow will affect the future. So we determine how South Sudan should be tomorrow. You understand? Like right now, our fathers in the parliament, the government have decided for us how this country is right now. This is their choice, not our choice. Understand? But now, what kind of choices do we have to make for us to see a better South Sudan for our children? Because we are going to have to decide.
It's our
responsibility. Yes, exactly.
Taking you back to way back when you started music, of course you had a lot of expectation about what your music should be, and South Sudan at some past in the day wasn't the South Sudan that it is now. There are a lot of changes. What do you think the music in the past, before our country was a country, and now, how could you possibly compare to the new, in the context that we're in now? What advice could you give to musicians that are coming up when the country is already independent compared to when it wasn't?
Let me say, I think, change is inevitable. A lot of things have changed,
exactly.
Probably like in a bad way or in a good way. But if I can compare the music when we started, years back, first of all, South Sudan was one. People were united, you understand? South Sudanese were one, like you can literally put a concert somewhere and every South Sudanese would come. There was no saying, oh, this artist from this side, this artist from this side.
Right.
Understand? And after the first war, it divided us somehow.
Exactly.
The second war, it split us like into small pieces, like, people not get that, like, to communities and stuff like that.
Right.
So like, the unity, the love that we used to have, like those days, we actually enjoyed, you understand? Like every year, like I can put literally a concert in Nakron Culture Center and have it filled outside, even bigger than what Ruga did. But these days, it's difficult to do that because like the war divided us so a lot. People are broken inside. People are divided. I think that's one thing that I see. Like that's the biggest change, like in a negative way. But it's a reality. I'm sure you were there before. You understand? And also those days, like when you put a concert somewhere, people from Shirikat, from Budele, from where they will all come. Whether on foot or on borders, they'll come. But today is an issue. You need to have a car for you to go for a concert. Those ones in Gudele party in Gudele and end there. Those ones in Shirikat, they party in Shirikat and they end there. If you go for a concert, like you get like, so that comes like to the security situation sometimes, you understand? You get people harassed on the road sometimes, soldiers, and people get scared. So, but those days you can literally move from here up to Shirikat and come back with no issue. Go for a show, do your show and come back.
So to conclude this, these recent changes have made music possible for everybody who tries.
Okay, let me say it has not made it impossible, but probably the earnings. Those days artists could earn money, but these days a few artists earn money. You understand? But also like another change I would like to talk about is like the positive change is that now we have so many studios that our artists or the new artists don't have to travel outside to record. We have studios all over the place. We have the media house like Step Up. We have the digital transformation. We have radio stations like now I'm back on playing South Sudanese music, which is a great thing. We have like the media. Right now you guys are focused on how to push the music, and I think like we are moving in the right direction somehow. Because I know after everything that happened in the First War, the Second War, people got frustrated. At least every family lost someone somewhere. So, but I'm sure with time, we're going to get over that. And definitely the future for the music is huge. Because the new artists are very talented and they have a lot of potential. They have a lot of potential like to unleash out to the people. We just need to give them that beautiful environment, to execute what they have to do.
Thank you. Could you tell us a little thing about your album, Beledi Jamil?
Beledi Jamil.
It has actually impacted,
Yeah.
It has gone viral, man. Thank you, man. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We really appreciate that.
Could you
tell us more about it? It shows us more of the culture
Yeah.
It shows us literally everything about our country. We're very, very proud of that. Could you tell us more about Beledi Jamil album?
You see, bro, like when I was writing this song, I wanted to do. I've done a lot of albums all my life, but I wanted to do something for my people. I wanted to change the narrative. You know how people perceive South Sudan outside based on the things that we put on the internet. People think there's no life in our country. People think South Sudan is the war zone. South Sudan is a what kind of stuff. But if you come inside here, we live life. We are much a better country than other countries. You understand? But the bad things like the people, like the South Sudanese who live outside, are the ones majorly portraying a bad image about our country. So I want, like in the album Beledi Jamil, I wanted to change the narrative. We should decide like what we have to give to the people. Instead of feeding the outside world negative energy about South Sudan, how about we feed the world about the positive energy like that we have, the beautiful cultures, the humble, the cultures, the people, the land. There's a lot of beauty in this country that we have to show out there to the people. So it starts like by us doing this. Let's change the narrative. The people know like here we live life. Like America could be like the worst country in the world, but they give us the beautiful part of America. Everybody will like, I want to go to the US, but inside there, there's a lot of things happening. But they choose to give us that beautiful image, and we also, the youth of South Sudan, have the power to do that. Understand? Like as a matter of fact, South Sudan, I think, is the most kind country where people are very welcoming.
Yeah.
You know, you still find us like we eat on once a year like this. Go to other parts of the country, where will you find?
I don't mean to put anybody negative on this, but you are one of those musicians that always put South Sudan as the only land.
That is it.
Only land music. That musician that always does that. I mean, I've never heard another musician. If I've heard, I can say, but you've been the one doing that.
You see, bro, like this is the only country we have.
In line with this, Beledi Jamil actually is more broadly on our culture.
Yes, on our culture.
On South Sudan as a country.
Yeah.
Is it in line with South Sudan tone? Because you once, we listen to you more of the time. You're this figure that always promotes South Sudan to have its own unique sound.
Yeah.
Compared to other countries, Kenya, Ghana, and overall Africa and outside. Is Beledi Jamil in line with the sound?
The Kush beat, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. You know, when I was creating this thing, like when I was creating this album, I did not want to sing about my country in Afro beats, in dancehall, in reggae, in whatever. I wanted to sing the beat of my country in our own sound. And this is something we artists have been trying to create for very many years. But we all failed. You know, we tried from those other ones who were there before us, and then our time. You know, it's always difficult to bring us together. So I took it upon and be like, okay, fine. Now the new generation is here and they're doing very well. This is their time. What do we do? You know, as a father, if your father had never bought a piece of land, you're not going to also make sure like maybe also you die without buying a piece of land. Your dad maybe like was poor, but at least you try, maybe I can't build one piece of land. Your children will come and continue to build from there. Exactly. So like now in our generation, let's say the people who are here before, the Kembes, the whatever, they failed to do this. Like our time also, like we almost failed. Understand? Most of the people like I started with, those other legendary artists, like the ones who are together, why are they today? They're not there. Why? Because they are not able to catch up with the new trend of music. The new boys, the new girls who are on the scene right now, they're tough, and for them they're still like in that old school. So like before we hand over the throne to these people, to these young ones here, we need to tell them, we need to create something for them. Let's give them a foundation kind of stone, so they can be now the one what to develop it. So we were like, you know what? Let's create some South Sudanese sound.
So that when an outsider comes,
they know our sound. I'm sure were you there in the concert when I performed Beledi Jamil?
Actually, I moved out of the country, but it amazed me a lot. I wish I could be.
Yeah, actually the video will be out very soon. So we had to create out the push beats, you understand? And
that's great.
Yeah, we had to create out the push beats. Though like it had to receive some backlash from other artists. It's not because like the sound was not good, but because why the civil rights was created it. You know, they thought maybe like I was going to take it like for self kind of claim or something. No. I did this for the industry.
You put a lot of like what?
yeah, and we did it like local. We had to travel the other side of Bor.
Yeah.
You know, like from Mora. Like the video is going to be very beautiful.
Put everything
like our culture right up there.
For real.
Yeah.
That is so nice. One question that most of your fans have sent me to ask you this. What makes you feel most empowered all these years?
I think the motivation comes from my land, from my people. The people support me, people love me. I can literally move to every corner of South Sudan and I feel home. Go to Kwajo, go to where I will, Bor, any part of South Sudan. As long as it's within the map, I'm always like home, I'm always welcome. So like, my people inspire me a lot. They give me the energy, they believe in me, and so I do not want to fail them. They give me the trust. They give me the the energy. Okay, go do this for us. We trust you. We believe in you. So I have to make sure like I carry that dream in the right direction. So each time I feel like I want to maybe like step out a bit, then I think about my audience. I think about the people. Think about my country. I be like, no, I still like have energy to contribute to my country.
There's a one key question that I will never go without asking you. You know, you're a social leader, and your music actually, as I mentioned before, has taught a lot of South Sudanese youth of all kinds. What I need to know, we have the feminine side, the female side, the girls, commonly known as Banat.
Banat, yeah.
Yeah, that was a song you once put out. It's criticizing them in a certain sense.
Masura.
Masura. Exactly, Masura. Yeah, I would recommend that sound. It needs some clarification, because this interview is going to get out and everybody will have a look at it. They would say the social leaders are sort of gone to a certain direction.
Yeah.
I guess that would need some
clarification.
Yeah.
You see, like Masura is a love song, but if you mean like the word Masura, it simply means to lie. Like today, you promised me you were going to come to interview me around 2, and we agreed, right?
Yes.
Now, assuming you came and I'm not home, that is Masura.
Yes.
Or I was here home waiting for you to come, and then you don't come. That is Masura. Understand? You call me on phone, and then be like, hey, Silva, where are you? Instead of telling you where I am exactly, I'll tell you, bro, today I'm in this side, Kumbe, you're on a different side. So Masura, it just means like, to lie. And this thing, lying, is very common with girls, you understand? Like, with girls, like, she will tell you, okay, I'm going to come to visit you, and then later, she'll even tell you, oh, my dad is saying I should not get out of the house. More of us is different with another person, somewhere else. Exactly. And the same thing happens with the boys. So it's just, it wasn't like anything about insult, but like just saying facts out.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying this. Actually, this has been the most controversial issue on social media, especially on the girl side. But I'm glad you've been able to explain it. Other question is, what are the 5 most beautiful things that you think are the most important thing in this world? 5 most important things.
5 most important things that if I'm personally.
Yeah, personally, and your broader view of the world.
I think one of the biggest one is love. 2 is a peaceful coexistence, that is peace itself.
Exactly.
And 3 is like on individual basis, like self-respect. Understand? If you don't have self-respect, you cannot be able to live with other people. Another thing is like having the ability to understand the other side of the story of another person. Like if you hear something about Silver X, and then from another person, how about you go and also find out, hey Jeremiah, I had this and that. Like that comes like to an issue like where we get to solve problems, like where people prejudice, people like someone can say like Jeremiah is a bad person, is this and that and that, and then I just suddenly get to believe that without even having contacted you. So you always have to be an understanding person, because that's one thing that gets us into conflict. Lack of understanding actually has brought us like into all this mess that the country has gone through.
Yet we are saying the same thing.
Yeah, so you get. So I think that those are things. Another thing is when it comes to the industry, I think hard work is very important. And another thing that I think I want to say to all the South Sudanese, like having that patriotic love for your country. I want every South Sudanese to understand that this is the only country you have. You are not going to have another one unless you want to have like 2 citizenships, but your original land where you will feel at peace even if you're hungry, this is that land. We all have a role to play in building this country.
Yes.
No matter how small the stone is, put it there to recover some space.
To put this in a logical sense, sometimes there's a biblical saying that says a prophet is not recognized in his country.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes you may love South Sudan the way you think, but they come again and bite you back.
Exactly.
Could you be able to navigate this kind of loving something at the same time and hating it? For example, recently we had a visit from an outsider, a great musician called Ruga.
Ruga, yeah.
And a lot of people were actually kind of shy to go and welcome. When a visitor comes to your home, it's always a blessing.
Sure.
Biblically, it's always a blessing. And you should be welcoming some people. I understood a lot of you social figures went ahead and welcomed, and a lot of mixed messages from somewhere.
Yeah.
Did you, by any means, experience some hate from somewhere, from the people that you love, and do you by any means have a chance one day to go travel outside and experience the same welcome that so-and-so received here?
First of all, I've traveled a lot of countries. I've been to about 3 continents, and still hopeful to go to a lot of other continents. Whenever I travel outside South Sudan for other shows, I've been to India, I've been to Cairo, I've been to Khartoum, I've been to Australia, to 15, I've been to a couple of places, leave alone East Africa. It's always like that, but when it comes to the sense of your point, I think there was only one moment when this guy came, and that got me thinking. Like, the way he said it, as in people, like, sometimes you feel they love you, but at some point they come back and bite you. I think it just comes to one point, like, of reason there was some video moving around. Here I went to ask for a picture from this guy, and the guy was what denied a picture. I didn't want to react onto that kind of story, but I think for me, there was an area bouncer, one of the bouncers made, I think a South Sudanese. You know how these people gets shaken when a foreign artist comes.
Exactly.
They forget their own first. They think that is the only person they want to focus on.
The people you love.
Not knowing the people you love. Not knowing later if that person goes back, they're going to be back here with you again.
Yeah, exactly.
You see, he's going to go back, and then you're going to remain here with us.
Yeah.
So how are you going to meet someone tomorrow and be like, look in his eyes and be like, hey bro, what's up?
Yeah.
You get. So I think we just have to step up there again. You understand? They are humans. The same way when we go to their countries, we receive the same love, but we don't treat people like that. But I think it's a thing that there was a miscommunication. Like, the intention of the person who put that video out was different, and the information they wanted people to perceive. Because first of all, we stood with this guy for a picture. The guy wanted to take the picture. Actually, we took already pictures, like using some cameras. We did not actually come out. Then, the moment now we finished taking those pictures, so Ruga's manager asked me to also use my phone. So I was trying to give my phone to one of the guys, some guy called Machar, to take the pictures. And then one of the bouncers, a South Sudanese bouncer, came from there and pulled Ruga out. He just came and then he pulled Ruga out by force. But Ruga was actually, he wanted that picture to happen. He wanted that moment to happen. So the guy just came and pulled him off by force.
But then,
and I
how do you, as somebody who loves the country, as somebody who really cares about the nation, as a social figure in the land, how do you react to such mess?
Silence.
And your silence would be misinterpreted by
you see, like,
and you never wrote about this in social media.
No, I never. Like that thing, I didn't even know.
That they might misconceive you though.
No, like, one thing for sure is like, if I reacted, like, first of all, why I kept quiet is because I know the truth that happened. Ruga knows the truth that happened. The organizers know the truth that happened. The person who actually got that 3-second video and posted out knows his intentions. He knows the truth. He could be the right person, like, to go out and be like, it is not the way it is. But the person who took that video and decided, like, to edit it, like, to 3 seconds and then posted it out, maybe he had something that should be actually the person who you should be looking for. It is not there. It is not actually the bouncer, because that person who posted that video, he had a lot of pictures that he took for us with Ruga when I was standing before I was giving my phone, before Ruga actually was pulled out from there. So that person should be asked, what was his intention? So for me to come out, like, and start defending myself, saying the truth, there were a lot of people, like, who knew the truth. I mean, who knew the whole situation. They were there and present. They actually got angry. They were like, they want to go online, like, and start saying. I was like, no, let the public do what they have to do, because no matter what you say right now, people just like will see like you're defending yourself. Understand? I know the truth. The person who posted that thing knows the truth. You understand? And so let it just be the way it is.
I see. What is your relationship with the new musicians like Don Pro, so many others that have come? You started a long way since 2008, and from the time when South Sudan was not independent moment, and you went through a lot of experiences throughout life. What is it like to have new musicians in the country to rival with you in this project task?
It is it's the most beautiful part of this game. You understand? First of all, nobody lives forever. You get, and every father will love to see their children grow and become greater than them.
Exactly.
You understand? You don't give birth to children and expect them to be less than you. You get. So for me, for example, let me just talk about it. I think you just mentioned one name. I think that's one of my favorite artists, John Frog. Me and John Frog, when it comes to real life, we're too close like this. Exactly. He's a brother of mine, and his brother, like, the respect is there. He's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing, and then when it comes, so like the industry needs sometimes controversies. Like how I created the controversy on his nomination, the Afrima nomination. You remember that one? That was the biggest trend for 1 week, you know. And there was a lot of backlash, there was a lot of talking on social media. Misconcepted the whole thing. I was jealous of some stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But nobody can be jealous of their own creation. Understand?
We saw your reaction, your positive reaction.
Yeah.
You know the press can mess up.
You see, when I posted that thing,
the press can mess up.
When I posted that video, the first time I posted the nomination in a positive way, the reaction was not that very much. And that thing didn't sit well with me. Around 12 or 11, one of these presenters is busy. SBZ called me and I was like, hey bro, John has a nomination. How do we make this go viral? You're the master of doing this, creating trends. How do we create a trend for this? I was like, okay, give me some moment, let me think about it. I was like writing this in the studio. And then I was going for a video shoot, so I told him, okay, I'll call you back in a second. So I gave it a thought. I went to the bathroom, showered, came, I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, now we're going to create something very controversial, but it's going to be very dangerous. I wanted to go to the website for Afrima that happens in Ghana, the one with 1M. Get for me the nominees, because the nominees all came in two ways. So SBZ went and got for me the nominees. You see, this is SBZ. Okay. He works at City FM. So he went and got for me this one for Afrima. He sent for me. Then this was another one.
That is in Ghana.
Yeah, this one happens in Ghana with 1M. Then the other one with double M happens in dollars every year. It's not like I don't know like the difference. I know this thing from day one.
Exactly. Yeah, we know that.
So I had to create this controversy. So it can get people talking, because our people love to feed on negative energy. And that's exactly what I did. And then when I posted, I went offline. I know it was going to bring a lot of people called me, people said this and that, but I just left because that's, it was like a sacrifice I did for a brother. Nobody would want to risk. If it was like another small artist, believe me, the career would be dead. So, but for me, I was like, let me do this. There are those ones who understand, who know Silver X. They will definitely understand what this brother means. But if no, after that post, until today, even a small kid knows about Afrima, a small kid knows about John Frog's nomination. Everybody has, even all the corners of the country. But if I did not do that, it will not be like that. So it got everyone talking, everyone Googling John Frog, everyone Googling Afrima, everyone talking about this. Exactly. So actually, it earned him a lot of, you understand that? But that was sacrifice. Nobody would have done that because it's risky. But I had to sacrifice myself. For real. Understand? The insults insulted me, they called me jealous, they insulted my family, questioned my career and some stuff, being jealous, like, no, come on, man.
That is exactly, you can bear with that.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Even if I posted, I knew it. I told you it's busy, this was going to bring problems. So, I knew the whole thing. So I was not surprised with the backlash.
Yes.